with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Welcome into the Erie News NOWCAST. I'm Molly Smorag. Let's get to your top stories on this Thursday morning. A number of unemployed Pennsylvania workers say they're upset over state delays in ruling on their unemployment claims, and they're expecting to join with some lawmakers today to demand they get benefits while waiting for that decision. Those workers are planning to hold rallies today in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. The one in Pittsburgh is scheduled to happen outside Governor Wolf's regional office. With a backlog of more than 300,000 claims, some unemployed workers have been waiting for months for a ruling on their case. Under the current system, the benefits are helped to avoid any other overpayments. Meantime, Republicans in Harrisburg are pushing a plan to reinstate work search requirements for people trying to get unemployment benefits. And with at least one survey and a growing number of employers saying workers just aren't taking open jobs. And Erie County Health Department leaders say they're seeing a trend of climbing case numbers among young people. We've already seen the Fort LaBeouf School District shut down some of their buildings this week, and Erie High closed last week and sent its students home back to learn at remote learning. County leaders say across our area, the 19 and under age group is seeing the biggest rise in new cases, and the cases at schools are part of the 21 outbreaks in the county in just the last week. Still, county leaders say they're confident that the in-person learning can continue, and they say once a vaccine is approved for people ages 12 to 15, we should start to see cases among young people drop. And with Pennsylvania saying they're lifting restrictions on Memorial Day, that timeline has many people getting excited about the future, especially college students. Those students have missed out on the typical college experience, and many are wondering if campus could look normal going into fall. Our Elena Jonathan reports.
After Governor Tom Wolf announced Pennsylvania COVID restrictions were beginning to be lifted starting at the end of May, that has many people excited for some sense of normalcy. That excitement spilled over to Penn State Barron's campus. Students and faculty say they're ready for some ounce of normal.
Many of us are anxious to return to all of the activity we see on campus, not just a portion of the activity that we're seeing right now.
Rachel Peer is a student at Penn State Barron.
I joke that I'm a junior because I'm not quite a junior, not quite a senior.
She graduates in December. While she's been on campus, she's worked as a tour guide showing the campus to prospective students. But because of COVID, that's had to change.
It's one thing when you're, giving a virtual tour and you're seeing your fellow tour guide and you're talking and you're showing pictures. But when you can actually look someone in the eye and be like, oh, and make that connection, it's even better.
With restrictions looking to get lifted at the end of the month, Pierce says she's excited for one thing.
Oh gosh, I really, really want to be able to walk because that's a feat in itself, just to be able to graduate early, So to be able to have that, fingers crossed.
And that was our Elena Jonathan reporting. With the pace of vaccination rollout slowing down at a lot of spots, state officials say they're working to get more Pennsylvanians to take their shot. Here at Erie News Now, we're now reporting vaccine numbers as a percentage of people ages 18 and older. That's because the state says it'll lift the mask rules when 70% of the people aged 18 and older are fully vaccinated. So as of this morning, roughly 40% of adults in our region have been fully vaccinated. That's about 124,000 people. Pennsylvania has vaccinated about 33.5% of the population. That works out to more than 3.4 million people. For the latest COVID-19 facts and figures, you can always head to our website, erienewsnow.com. And we're headed towards the month of June, typically when the number of weddings really ramp up. With those restrictions being lifted in a couple weeks, people in the wedding and event planning industry say they're definitely expecting a busier summer than last year. Erie News Now's Haley Potter has that story.
The picture-perfect wedding, what so many of us dream of growing up.
I always had dreams of what my wedding would be like, and I couldn't imagine having to do it any differently than what I pictured as a kid.
But brides and grooms have been doing it differently the past 14 months, being forced to cut back their wedding guests and have restrictions on their happily ever after.
In March of last year, everything came to a screeching halt.
John Gallagher has his own wedding and event planning business and says this past year has been tough, But the announcement from the governor of restrictions being lifted is the best news.
I was kind of scratching my head going, did I just hear what I heard?
He has 30 to 40 weddings booked for this summer. And over at the concourse of Union Station venue, owner Marty Patuch and his daughter Brittany are thrilled because of the recent announcement.
I actually called the governor's office as soon as I heard the news just to confirm and make sure that it really was happening.
This will increase their business. They tell me they can now have 325 guests inside this venue. That's a sigh of relief for many brides who had to cut back their guest lists with the previous restrictions.
As soon as that story broke, my phone started going nuts with brides all excited. Like, we can cry happy tears now because we can get married, we can have the people we want, we don't have to cut anybody out of our list.
And soon their dance floor will be full of happy guests every weekend through Halloween, on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and even a Wednesday. Weddings scheduled for this year and weddings postponed from last year.
We're just happy that things are slowly getting back into the way they used to be.
Just as exciting for these wedding planners and venues as it is for the brides and grooms.
It'll be nice to see people smiling again, having a good time, family members hugging at weddings and dancing together. They haven't been able to do that for such a long time.
And exciting news for those brides getting married this summer, but let's bring in our David Walter. How's the weather looking like for us today, at least?
Well, it's looking pretty good overall. We are dealing with those blue skies out there. Right now, we are looking over towards downtown. Of course, you can see Lake Erie, that nice dark blue out there in the distance. We are at 48 degrees, so it's still been a struggle to warm up, even with that sunshine. Northwesterly wind at 8 miles per hour. Temperatures middle and upper 40s, really all across the board from the lakeshore all the way back to the higher elevations out there in Kane, Sheffield, middle 40s, 48 degrees down the road in Oil City. And you can see that wind coming on in. It's pretty light overall, but it is enough to keep that colder air mass in place. We're heading to western New York, Jamestown, noticing some more clouds kind of bubble up your way. We're at 46 degrees. Temperatures struggling all across the area. And you'll notice on visible satellite, we've got some clouds across the area, but a bulk are off to the west. And you can see some of those rain showers associated with those areas of clouds. So this is where we're watching at least the rain showers more so late tonight and then into tomorrow. But you can see some of those clouds filling on in for at least part of the area. We're still looking at a fair amount of sunshine as we make our way into the afternoon. You can see through the end of the workday, through the end of the school day, we may have some high clouds to move on in. That will kind of wash out the sunlight just a little bit. We're not really expecting any sort of rain until we get into the very early morning hours of your Friday. And you can see for your morning commute, we're seeing a little bit more widespread rain come on in. So that could certainly make things a little soggy out there. And you can see that the rain eventually moves away from the lakeshore, but still enough clouds in place until we get to the end of the day when skies try to clear out. And then another system, another weak system, could be bringing us a little bit more rain as we step on into the weekend. So kind of active as we look ahead. Here's your zone outlook for today. We got temperatures into the middle 50s. We'll have a bit more cloud cover as we continue through the afternoon. Highs in the 50s really all across the area. Middle 50s for Meadville over there to Conneaut Lake as well. Enjoying some of that morning sunshine. No rain in the forecast, so if you have outdoor plans today, not too bad, but you'll still need to wear that sweatshirt or at least a jacket to stay warm. And you may have to stay warm for the next couple of days. Unseasonably cool stuff in store for us as we get closer to the weekend. I'll talk about that in just a moment.
Thanks, David. And if you're looking to knock out a Mother's Day gift last minute, this might be the perfect gift. Plus, you'll be able to save yourself a few bucks, too. At Level Red Boxing, they have a Mother's Day bundle going on until Sunday. The deal is you get 10 classes, your gloves, hand wraps, and a t-shirt for $150. Assistant Manager Nikki Zeidner tells Erie News Now this is a huge savings, as the class alone normally costs that much.
A ton of moms who bring their kids over to Iron Oxygen and put them in the daycare. They come over here to get an hour in their day just for themselves to relieve some stress, some anger, whatever they have built up, just to get away from home, their work life, and just kind of do them.
The deal includes everything your mom would need to let a little steam out, and you can knock out that Mother's Day gift with that boxing deal until this Sunday, May 9th. And as we head towards Mother's Day this weekend, a local hospital is helping new moms celebrate. The McGee's Women's Hospital at the UPMC Hammett is honoring moms this weekend by presenting families with a special gift. It's a kids book that the hospital staff will imprint with their baby's footprint. The hospital will give out these books to all new moms who deliver their babies tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And David, we want to bring you in again to show us what it might look like for Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, things could be a little wet from time to time, but today we'll enjoy some of that sunshine, just those thin cirrus clouds. Those are way up there in the atmosphere. As a matter of fact, they're made up of ice crystals. Little fun fact for you today. We're at the Maritime Museum, and you can see that the Brig Niagara's out there, the Lenny G. Howard. I believe that is right there. And we, of course, just want some warmer weather so we can do a little bit more sailing as we get closer. We're getting close to the month of June, which is the start of meteorological summertime. But you can see these temperatures still struggling for the next few days. Friday, we'll have some showers around. They'll be moving on through this morning. They'll still be in parts of the area a little bit farther to the east during the afternoon. Saturday, a little system could bring us a couple of showers, not a whole lot. Sunday, we're keeping our eyes on the system that develops to our south. It could skirt the area just enough to bring us some rain on Mother's Day, but right now, doesn't look like anything overly significant. But if you live farther south of the lakeshore, that's where you probably have a better chance of getting some of that rain. As we slip into next week, you can see things dry out. Still a bit cool for the home opener for the Seawolves on a Tuesday. Of course, we welcome them back to UPMC Park. Molly?
Alrighty, thanks everyone for joining us for the Erie News NOWCAST. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time. Our next news is coming up at noon on WSCE and 12:30 on WICU. Make it a great day.